All right, let's discuss this a little further. Let's bring in former New York Lieutenant Governor Betsy McCaughey. She is the founder of Save NYC and the host of Wake Up America Weekend right here on Newsmax. Also with us is New York City Councilman David Carr. Great panel here to kick this off. David, despite Mamdani and President Trump's history of public disagreements, Trump predicts that this is going to be a civil meeting. Mamdani is hoping to change Trump's mind on funding to New York after Trump called it a waste to send money to a communist in New York. What are you hoping comes from this meeting, sir?
Well, I think it's going to be a very honest meeting, and I love to be a fly on the wall because I think the president's going to really tell the mayor-elect that, you know, his ambitions are far beyond the scope of his office. And the truth is that the city of New York is very much dependent upon federal funding streams, and we're required to have a balanced budget each and every year. And I think that if he is going to try to pursue this agenda of his, where he's just going to be giving away the store, I think he's gonna find that he's not able to do that, and he's going to need federal funding to support basic services like the NYPD, like FDNY, sanitation. You know, we rely on the federal government as our partners in so much.
Betsy, I know you've been very outspoken about this. Let's look at some of the promises that Mamdani has made here. You've got free buses, rent-frees, free childcare, as well as free grocery stores, affordable housing. But despite running on these free policies, he's continuing to beg for money from voters. Watch.
But we're still asking for your help because we need to raise $4 million in total. So January 1st can be the day we start to deliver, not start to prepare. I hope very soon not to have to ask you for money. But until then, I'm asking.
So the New York mayor is not going to have much control over as what people think that he's going to have control over. How realistic, though, is it for him to get these things done?
Well, he has very little control over the city's finances. $28 billion comes from the federal government, and New York State has the control over all types of taxation except property taxes. So, in fact, he also has to go begging to the state. There he's likely to have more luck. But in addition to the financial issues, and they will be a big problem for Mamdani very soon, in addition to those, the president, I suspect, will be very, very direct about telling Mamdani that in New York City, like the rest of the country, American law prevails, not Sharia law, not international law. Mamdani cannot arrest Netanyahu when he comes to New York. Yeah. Mamdani must protect the Jewish people of New York City. For example, there was a big protest, very vicious, outrageous protest at the Park East Synagogue just earlier this week. It's Mamdani's job, his obligation, to protect all New Yorkers, including those of the Jewish faith, and he'd better get busy doing it.
Yeah, and David, the NYPD Commissioner, Jessica Tisch, she's agreed to stay on during Mamdani's administration, despite their differing views on policing. Mamdani, he's previously called to defund the police and only recently changed his tune on that. Do you think that this was a good decision on Tisch's part? Will she be able to rein him in?
I really hope so. I think that it's a good sign that he wants to keep her, but it only proves to be good in the long term if it means he's embracing the kind of policies Commissioner Tisch has shown us she supports in her leadership of the agency to date. So if embracing Commissioner Tisch, he's embracing common sense policing like we've had in this city for a number of years, then that's great news. But I think that if he's looking to keep a leader who doesn't support what he believes, I think the partnership won't last very long.
Yeah, and she also believes, Tisch, that with what the 5,000 police officers on the street, she wants to add more of them. He, of course, doesn't want to do that. So we'll wait to see how that plays out. Betsy, you're a former New York Lieutenant Governor. We've got Congresswoman Elise Stefanik running against New York Governor Kathy Hochul. Stefanik criticizing Hochul's management on issues like immigration. What chances do you think that she has in New York?
It's too soon to say. It's a very solidly blue state. But let me point out that Hochul has no spine. She has capitulated to Mamdani. She endorsed Mamdani. At the beginning, she said she would not raise taxes. Now she seems to be folding and accepting the idea of raising the corporate tax rate statewide by 50%, making it the highest in the nation. That will make companies flee to Florida, Texas, neighboring Connecticut. So we can't rely on Kathy Hochul to be a firewall against Mamdani's most extreme policies.
Yeah. York.